Welcome to the Man That Can Project podcast Thursday episode, which is going to be a short, sharp episode to educate you. And today I finished up reading The One Thing again for the third time. And there's this cool feature on your phone when you're actually reading on Kindle, where you can highlight your notes and then go back through and review them, which is what I did today. And I want to give you my top four, not even top four, just 4 points that really stood out for me today around the one thing and how you can utilize these learnings to improve your quality of life. Because, you know, one thing at the end of the book that I guess is influencing my life a lot at the moment is living your life to minimize the regrets that you have at the end of it. And where I'm at in my life and with my business and various other things going on, I feel very comfortable. I am happy with where my finances are at. I'm happy with what I'm contributing. I'm happy with my health, but I'm also one of those individuals who is ambitious, and I do want to get more out of myself. So by knowing that I don't want to have regrets, there's various things that I'm looking at going, well, look, if I look back at the end of my life, I am going to regret not giving that a crack. And I think that's a very important point that many of us can take home, is what's going on in your life, or what opportunities or decisions are out there that, you know, may not have a significant improvement of your life, or your life doesn't need that necessarily. However, if you were, you know, fast forward to when you're 80 years of age and you're looking back and go, I regret not giving that a crack. I regret not talking to that person. I regret not experiencing that. So something to think about. But let's go to the top of this. And it's the question. Obviously the book, The One Thing, and if you haven't read it, I highly recommend reading it. But it's to simplify your life. Think about what you've been up to for the last couple of hours. Has your life been extremely busy? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel like your to-do list is continuing to grow and you go to bed every night feeling like it's never done? I think we're all going to experience that. I think we're all always going to go to bed never completing our to-do list, because there is an endless possibility of things that we give ourselves to do. However, priorities matter. So the question that is blasted all throughout the book is this: what's the one thing that you could do today or this week or this month or this year, and such by doing it everything else would be easier? So it's really helping you highlight, hey, this really is the most important thing, and if I only get that one thing done, like I said, today, this week, it will have the best outcome towards what I'm working towards. Because often we just look at our days or our to-do list and we go, cool, I'm just going to try and get as much of that done as possible, and I'm either going to get to the end of the day and know that tomorrow I'm going to start again and hopefully get through that. We don't really prioritize and understand the ripple effect of such tasks. For example, health. Health is highly important to me because I know having the energy and the vitality allows me to do various other things in my life. So making sure every day or a couple of times a week, I prioritize moving my body. I'm very intentional with what I eat. I am very intentional with my sleep quality and quantity, because I know how I wake up the following day. If I am not looking after that and I become lethargic, I'm sluggish, it's not going to help me with the goals and I guess even the quality of life that I have. So think about that. What's that one thing? It's something that, we've actually, within our academy, I've changed our whole game plan to focus on the one thing after reading that, because everyone has busy lives. But if we could have one significant improvement over a 12-week period, and it's easy to hold yourself accountable and build a plan to it, you've done a great thing, right? Because often we try to set more goals, and as a result of setting more goals, we feel like we're going to accomplish more. But as we all know, can be overwhelming. We can lose track. The goal mightn't be as significant because you've got multiple, and generally when they're not that significant or you don't feel like they're challenging, it's easy to lose focus. So think that the next part was going small is you ignoring all of the things that can distract you. I thought that was a great one-liner, right? So really focusing in, really dialing in on just that one thing so that we don't get distracted with a million other things out there. I'll give you an example today. My one thing that I've focused on is going back to growing our academy, and coaching is doing that. Now, the distractions that I have going on around the place that always take my focus is the podcast like I'm doing now, is emails, is various other things around the office. Now, my commitment to self was giving 3 hours a day to coaching, to being in the academy, to talking with our members, to talking to new members in our free Facebook group. Once I've done that 3 hours and once I feel like I've delivered value, I can then go on to the other tasks that I have. But the priority is the coaching. Okay? Now this one is a cool one. 4 Thieves of Productivity. If you haven't read this, this is brilliant. First one, the inability to say no. I'm a yes man. I know many people are yes men because once again, sometimes it's just easier to say yes than justify why we're saying no. We also have the FOMO. We want to be involved in everything. But going back to what I said earlier, what's really important to you and what is going to deliver the results that you want for the outcome in your life. And it's important to say no because it can be easy to even establish your priorities. But every day, in many ways, people are trying to steal your focus, whether it's through notifications on social medias, phone calls, walking down the streets, your employees, employers. There is people stealing your focus. So you need to learn to say no. The second one, fear of chaos. A lot of us don't like the idea of chaos because we have this idea of what that is. And I think it's really, really important to understand that if you're going to grow, right, which is obviously when you're being productive, when you're striving for more, chaos is part of that. Now, I feel from my own experience, chaos to me really comes through my own experiences with overwhelm, really comes through my own experiences with anxiety. And if I look back throughout my life with the patterns with this, I've always come out on top. I've always grown through that process. It's just when I'm in the chaos that it feels sometimes overwhelming. And when I think about the chaos that could potentially come, once again, I don't always want that. However, I understand that in order to get what I'm working towards in anything, the chaos is part of that process. So we need to learn to embrace that. Or obviously, if you have, there's that saying, use fear as your compass, right? So understand that, yes, there may be chaos, but that's what you want to work through because it's going to help you build your character. It's going to help you raise your standards to a whole new level and be the individual that you need to be in order to get to where you want to get to. Third one, poor health habits. Simple, I touched on this earlier. If you have poor health habits, don't expect to be as productive. If you're hungover all the time, if you're lethargic, if your body is aches and full of pains, don't expect to be a fine-tuned specimen, right? So prioritize that health. Once again, it's why in our academy, we have the fitness programming there for our members because I understand that my goal is to help them run as efficiently as possible. So if we can provide that support, accountability, and programming there for them to maximize their health, that's another tick in the right direction. The final one is your environment that doesn't support your goals. Ask yourself this: are the people that you're spending time around enabling you, or let's say empowering you, or disempowering you to achieve the outcomes that you want? Example, if you have a health goal that you're working towards, and the people that you're spending the most time around are people that disregard their health, they prefer to go out drinking, smoking, and carrying on, is that the best environment for you to achieve your goals? The other thing we need to look at with environment is that environment set up for your success. So do you have access to whether it's running or gym equipment in order to achieve that goal, or do you not? So you need to think about, is the environment set up for that? So they're those 4 thieves. So just to recap, What's the one thing that you can do in order to achieve the outcome that you want, and by doing this will make everything else easier. Secondly, going small is ignoring all of the distractions. Thirdly, the 4 thieves of productivity. And then finally, live your life to minimize the regrets at the end. If you got value from this episode, or you have even questions or even your perspective, comment them below and share this on social media, and do something today to be better for tomorrow. Thank you guys for tuning in.